We have we work on the number of households. We have about 50-something households assisted in this village, and then of course we'll to number 2 and Nambubar village as well. At the same time, Commissioner West and his team are organizing the distribution of rations for those that were in the evacuation centers in the last few days in the Tavua, Nandi, Lautoka, and Mba area has already been covered by an NGO, so they are working on the areas that have not been covered so far. So this is going on concurrently, and Commissioner North will also facilitate the distribution of rations in the Northern Division. It varies, but this is subject to change as well. In the reports this morning, we have more than 3,000 something people, which is about 500 plus 700 plus households in the whole of the Western Division. In the Central Division, we have about 90 households, and of course average for each household is about 3 to 5, and of course in the Northern Division we have about 50 as well. So it varies, and of course subject to change as well, because some families might return once weather permits, and of course the cleaning up is already taking place as well. Food security is a priority for any government. The Ministry of Agriculture has responsibility, but in the meantime, we are to ensure that those that have badly suffered are properly nourished. At the same time, agriculture is trying to establish the degree of devastation in the agriculture sector. The initial damage assessment teams have been mobilized, again weather permitting, and accessibility, availability as well. That's ongoing, and it is a priority. The 4 divisional commissioners are reinforcing and strengthening the agriculture survey teams, and Commissioner also has teams prepared to cover the areas that are non-agriculture but still very much affected by the devastation of the flooding. So food security is always important, and that is why the priority now in the damage assessments, so that we can, as usual, always try to get back to normalcy as quickly as possible. And assistance that will follow on will depend on the damage assessments made. Assistance comes in many forms. There is immediate assistance, again, depending on the information received and weather and accessibility as well. So there is immediate assistance, and then we have the short-term recovery plans, and of course the long-term recovery and rehabilitation. As I've stated, it comes in all sectors, and it's multifaceted as well. But the key priority is the lives, the security of lives, and of course the well-being of the people as well. Health is always a key priority as well, because we can bounce back to life quickly if these issues are addressed. But for us to ensure that people are more resilient, people need to be prepared for such situations as well. And I have stated during my conference on Monday that something that we appreciate is the training that has been ongoing in the communities, so that communities can take ownership, because it is a fact that government will not be able to immediately reach out to every community immediately. So while waiting for that lull period, it's the communities that take responsibility, and I'm thankful that the communities are taking those responsibilities seriously, and we hope that more of such training can be done in the area, in the very remote areas when we have the opportunity during peaceful times. Government has its own processes and systems. It might be delayed for a few hours, but government does care and cares about the well-being of everyone. As I've stated, the life and the health of everyone sheltered in evacuation centers are priorities, and that is something that we focus on. We work in partnership as well. Someone in evacuation center seeking shelter does not take away their responsibility. When people come to the evacuation centers, they bring with them things to sustain them in the initial period of 48 hours at least. That includes blankets, food, water, and so forth to sustain them. So I don't want to react to their statement, but stand by the statement that I've made earlier. This government is here to help, ensuring that no one is left behind, and that we are continuing now and we will continue to do in the future. NDMO is not responsible for everything. We have agencies of government that do that. The Ministry of Health, but we greatly support all the programs that advocate LTDD awareness, including the cleaning ups. Commissioners, through the Integrated Rural Development Framework, play a key role in the organizing of the resources, mobilization of the activities as well, and that is ongoing, whether during peaceful times or post-disasters. LTDD is always there, but we need to ensure that we keep it to a minimum. And I'm glad that even in this village today, it has already been sprayed again. So that is a positive step in ensuring that it's kept to a minimum. And during post-disasters, that is the link between the disaster needs and the development. We ensure that communities that need proper facilities, whether it be latrines, hygiene and sanitation, whether it be water-related projects, that is factored into development activities by all the agencies of government, so that there is a continual process of addressing these issues through the various programs that are available within the various agencies of government. It's a concern, and everybody is doing its best to ensure that it's kept to a minimum. And I'm also thankful that the communities, through the awareness and advocacy, are becoming very aware and vigilant and taking responsible actions as well. We have relocation guidelines, and again, that's something that we do together in partnership. Under the relocation guidelines, the communities will not be forced to relocate. They have to agree to relocate, and that is where the process starts. Because in the laws of government, Itoke villages are covered under the Itoke Affairs Act. It is gazetted. So to move them out of this village, it also has legal implications and legal requirements as well. So the community has to initiate that. We are offering necessary advice, but then it cannot be forced on them. But they can go through the relocation guideline and get further assistance from government in terms of necessary advice if need be, because this is a major concern. This is the new norm. We'll continue to have more and even worse disasters in future. All that we need to do is prepare better so that we build resilience in the community and be in a better position to adapt and adopt to the changes that are happening. So hopefully this community will take that seriously as well.
Thank you so much, Minister.
Enough. Thank you.